Ours Nursery. Today I'm going to talk about equipment and tools that you'll need to be a beekeeper. So I'm going to start off with your protective gear, because this is probably the most important thing that you need. And there's lots of different styles. This is just a veil. It goes over your head and ties on so the bees can't crawl up it. And a lot of the year, this is all you'll need. The bees are pretty mild most of the time. This will just protect your face, because that's where it hurts the most to get stung. So I would suggest always wearing a veil when you go in your hive, even in the summer when they're mild. It's just, you don't want to get stung in your eyeball or something. But certain times of year, the bees are way more aggressive. So you might consider something like a jacket. This works for most of the year also. The hood just zips on, and I use one of these all the time. It's a really great suit for beekeeping. When you come in, make sure to try it on so it fits you good. You want it to be a little bit baggy. In the winter, the bees are even more aggressive, so I'll wear a full suit like this one. We sell small suits so you can get your kids out there in your beehives with you. So a full suit is probably something you're going to want to have also, just because during certain times of the year, you're going to need more protection. Gloves, I only wear gloves when I need to, but sometimes you need to. So feel free to try on a pair and make sure they fit you pretty good so you can work your hive good with them on. But you'll need some gloves. Aside from that, for protective gear, that's pretty much all you need. I mean, the bees are not that aggressive most of the time. After that, there's not a lot that you need other than your smoker and hive tool. These are the two main pieces of equipment that you'll use every time you get into your hive. We sell a couple different types of hive tool, whichever one you like. They're all pretty good. You're going to need to use the hive tool to open the hives. They get glued like super glue. I mean, it's crazy. So you'll need a hive tool every time you get in. The smoker is your most important tool, though. This is how you control the bees. When you go to get into your hive, you'll give the bees a little bit of smoke at the entrance, and that'll make the bees think that there's a fire instead of a bear. And just for a split second, that's all it takes for them to not come out and start stinging you. They'll just think, oh, it must be a fire. If you just start jostling the hive, they'll think it's a bear. So this is really important. Plus, once you get the hive all opened up, the bees are going to start crawling around. This is how you control the bees. Once you go to put it all back together, you'll kill a lot of bees if you just stack it back together. So you're going to want to smoke the bees away from the sides and off the tops of the frames and stuff to get the bees back in so you don't kill a lot of them. So this is really important too. We like to use burlap in our smokers. Burns really good, lasts a long time. You cut these into strips, and you can keep this burning for 20, 30 minutes, an hour, depending on how long you have to be in the hive. That's really important too. You have to have a smoker. The frame rest is a pretty good tool. You can see you're going to need some space to move the frames around when you're working. So a frame rest is nice because you can take one or two of the outside frames out, where the queen isn't in that outside frame. So you can take that out, and then you can move some frames over to be really careful when you're pulling the frames out. So it's nice to have a spot to rest the frames on. So I like these frame rests as well. Bee brush is a good tool to have. You might need to brush the bees off frames. If you're extracting honey, you're going to need one of these. You get the extra bees off that didn't come off. So bee brush is a useful tool also. But aside from that, that's pretty much all you need. These two most important things, plus your veil. And you can't go wrong with the Man Lake smoker. These are really good smokers. It'll last you forever. Mine is probably 20 years old. So yeah, it's what you're gonna need. We'll see you next time.